Hi, this is Joseph Shimoni on a set of Jersey Devil. Joining me today is director-producer B.R.O.O.D. Let me start off by asking you, how did you get into films?
Well, I started off actually when I was 15 taking pictures for a couple of magazines. I did freelance photography. I was writing a bunch of stories and I had a lot of ideas, and one day I met up with some people in a get-together, and they were all telling me, why don't you get into film more? You know, why don't you do something like a movie or some sort, or a small film? And I told them I'm not really interested in shorts. I wanted to get my whole idea out there, and they were telling me exactly how to organize it, and slowly I made my way over there, and that's how I basically started off on with filming.
Can you tell us, what is a good recipe to make a good movie?
Well, to make a good movie, there's a lot of ingredients you need. Well, first off, you need to tell a story. You have to write a good story. You know, that's the most important thing. I see a lot of indies out there, indie directors, and some movies even in Hollywood that, unfortunately, their story is extremely lacking. I mean, they're all interested in just the visuals or the sounds and all of those things, when they should be concentrating more on the storyline and make it original, make it as original as possible. You know, try not to copy anybody. Make it your own type of characters, make them, basically your own. And at the same time, add to it special effects, sound effects, all kinds of things that, you'll be able to tell your story a little better. Another big thing is budgeting. I mean, you got to know your budgets. You got to do a lot of things. You got to do location scouting. I mean, there's just too many recipes to mention here, but you basically got to do your homework, and you got to make sure that you make your movie, it has to be as original as possible, and it has to be your idea and exactly how you see it in your head. Don't give up. Just make it come out exactly how you see it, and you have nothing to worry about. I mean, that'll be a great movie.
Special effects. Do it, don't do it. What's your take on it?
Yeah, special effects. I mean, I hear a lot of indies out there saying, watch out, don't put 3D stuff in your movies, or they won't like it, or they won't like special effects, they won't do this. My question is to everybody is, who is they? Who the hell is the word they? I don't understand who they are. That's what I want to know. Because me, I'm a good 3D artist. I mean, I do special effects, I do pyrotechnics, I do my own pyrotechnics on green screen and on reel. I do my own special effects, I do my own 3D work. I do using great software out there. I mean, today pretty much anybody could pick up, and if you can't do it, have somebody else do it. I know there's a lot of fear going into that. A lot of people are saying, if you do a bad special effect, you're going to ruin your movie. And if you ruin your movie, then, I mean, that's not a good thing. And, everybody's scared of doing that. But here's a thought. If you get somebody that knows what he's doing and they do it, they do the special effects for you, they do the 3D effects, they're helping your movie become something big. As a director, you're a storyteller. And to tell your story, the number one thing you have to understand is you need to put visuals out there. I mean, think about it. When you tell a kid a story, you're reading him a storybook. Kids love to see, pictures. Pictures is a wonderful thing. Unfortunately, as we grew older, pictures were taken away, and it's not making us exactly, visual in any sense. And that's what I'm saying. I always love pictures. I even love pictures now, reading books with pictures, because they encourage us to see beyond what we can normally do. So every time you have in your mind, you're seeing some beautiful things, and then you start to say, oh, you know what? Let me cut this out. Let me cut that out. I can't do this. I can't do that. Guess what? You got nothing left out of your story. Your story is going to end up being dull and boring. And I've seen a lot of indies making that same mistake, cutting it off based on fear from the word they. Who is they? That's my question.
I had a chance to look at your pilot. Christos, Darius, Tara, how did you come up with these characters?
Well, Christos, actually, the thing is, with Christos, he's the vampire. And I was so sick and tired of seeing what they made the vampire today out to be. I mean, he's no longer a monster. He's this girly girl who, they made him into a girl, basically, with teeth. And basically that's my thing. I wanted to make the vampire old school, but at the same time add a little bit of my own, stuff to it. So for instance, my vampire he's evil. That's who he is. He's evil, but he's fighting for good, and he wants to, to make amends and all that stuff. But at the same time, he's not going to drink pig's blood. He's not going to drink like they have in all these movies, or he doesn't glitter in the sun. I mean, all of this is just nonsense. I took in most basically from the folklore out, and what I did was with Christos is he does drink blood, but he drinks bad people's blood, you know, and basically there's more of a story to him that you're gonna have to see in the show itself in order to understand it. All of these characters are really in depth. You got to really see the other episodes to really get a chance to know who they are. Now with Tara, it was played by Aaliyah Larray, a wonderful vocalist, a singer. I recommend everybody get her album. She's amazing. She is also an incredible actress, and she played as the Banshee, of course. And the Banshee, you know, is something original. I've seen most Hollywood movies, or any type of TV shows. Banshees are, you know, overlooked completely. And I mean, Banshees are pretty big in folklore. And I wanted to bring that into the screens right here. So what I did was I put the Banshee, you know, her spirit, nobody really knows. And through the episodes, you'll sort of know who she is. She gets flashes of who she was because she doesn't really know fully who she is. She has the power of soul reaping. She has a lot of powers that actually help her out in the long run and to solve cases and all that. And also, she's interested in making amends. Now, Darius is the werewolf. Again, the same thing with the werewolves in today's movies. They made them like girls, you know, and I'm trying to do it as old school as possible and put my own thing in it. He was a botched Nazi experiment that made him into a werewolf, and basically he's also making amends. He didn't know who he was lost, and you're gonna see how he slowly matures from being a cocky, you know, person into being more serious and solving cases and everything. And basically that's where I got these characters from. They were all my imagination that I used to think of when I was a kid, you know, and I always wanted to, you know, write stories and books about it, which I have. In 1995, I wrote my first story about B.R.O.O.D, which I wanted to release. Unfortunately, I was too young. I didn't really think about that. So I said, you know what, now that I'm older, I'd like to make this into a movie.
You're a writer, director, producer, special effects. Now you came out with a music video and an album. What's your take on that?
Well, part of being a good filmmaker is to be a man of all hats. You know, I pretty much wear every hat. I do the special effects, I do the design, I did everything, and I said, you know what? Let me try to make something that, you know, probably hasn't been done, or maybe has been done. I'm not exactly sure, but I said, let me put my music talents into effect. So I came out with an album first. And then I said, you know what, let me come out with a song to be the theme song for B.R.O.O.D. And I said, right away we have to film a music video. And that's when I got the idea for that. So we did, you know, Dark Clouds Coming, the music video for it, which is awesome. And I mean, I encourage everybody, every director out there to do that, to be a man of all hats. Don't be scared of anything, especially that, like we said earlier about the word they. I hate that word. And the words I can't, which I really can't stand. Just, you know, take a shot, see how you sound. I'm sure you're not that bad. See how you sound. Get some music, get some stuff. Cost effective, yeah. I mean, that is part of being a good producer. You need to know how to squeeze every penny. You got to make Abraham Lincoln sweat. You got to squeeze the boogers out of him, okay? Because that's what you got to learn to do to be a good producer. Anybody could just throw away money. I mean, I see Hollywood movies today, and a lot of movies, I mean, they get funds and they just spend it all willy-nilly. You can't do that. There's so many deals to be made internationally. Today you have things like eBay, you know, in your fingertips. I mean, you could go on websites and just order a crap load of stuff and make deals. You don't have to pay sticker price. I mean, you could just make deals with them, and you'd be surprised what great deals. I mean, I've taken $1 million. I mean, you could literally see the equipment I've used. $1 million worth of equipment. And I've got it only for like for thousands, you know? And my budget, I mean, I would say about probably well over 300,000, and then of course I got the locations and everything. So it was a pretty penny, don't get me wrong, but at the same time it could have been much worse. You know, I see a lot of directors today, what they do is they invest in just a camera, they invest in you know, a gun, you know. I mean, you can't just do that, because, you know, you're looking at the camera. I've seen a guy who bought the Red camera, which is an amazing camera. He didn't know he had to buy lenses, he had to buy stuff. Then guess what? After he bought the lenses, spent a fortune on all of those things, guess what happened? He didn't have guns. He didn't have anything. So he started taking out from his script, oh, okay, forget the gun, let's add a knife. he completely murdered his script and he turned it into crap. And that's basically what it is. The thing is, know how to budget, know how to do know how to do budgeting, get great deals, make sure that you have everything written on paper before you film. Okay, so you make sure you have your camera, you make sure you have your people, your crew, your actors, your any type of locations, do location scouting, do all kinds of things, do everything, get it organized on a piece of paper, like on a portfolio report, be very professional about it, because you don't want to know later on in the time, because that's going to bite you in the ass. Because I've seen so many people
filming Jersey Devil. What is it coming out? What is it about, most importantly?
I can't really say right now. I don't want to talk about it. That's another thing I have to tell people. Copyright your ideas. I copyright it, and also because there's so many sneaky bastards out there, they're gonna want to take little bits and pieces. So what you do is you come up with different variations of your show, copyright it, don't tell them anything about it, and whoever steals your idea, you could sue the crap out of them. So right now, this is another thing. I don't like talking about my future productions. I'm working on Jersey Devil. All you gotta know is it's gonna be an amazing movie, and for the first time, this is definitely the most expensive movie I've been working on, and it's a full feature movie, and I could tell you it's something extremely original, and it will blow your socks off. But the thing is, I don't like talking too much about it, and I'm not going to say much. I'm not going to say when it's going to come out. I did different variations. I copyrighted. So that's another thing I forgot to mention. Just copyright all your ideas, copyright every single one of your ideas, and then and then tell people about it. But I don't like to say anything until it's filmed. So once it's filmed, you'll know in the interview then. Thank you.
This is Joseph Shimoni saying farewell.